So when you write stuff, two things happen. If you publish work, it either gets validated or invalidated. More often than not, you get invalidated. Your work gets rejected, people have counter arguments, it gets thrown in the bin. And that's okay, that's part of the writing process, that's part of putting yourself out there, that's part of being brave and publishing things and doing your own research. At the tail end of the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil, I watched the US go out to Belgium in the knockout stages. And it was a much different game, not one I'm going to compare to the game in this World Cup. However, I was in the middle of writing my first book, and I was in deep research mode. And it led me down a research journey where I looked at the Belgian system. To a player, they were better than us on that day, and last night, they were much better than us across the board, and they didn't even have their top players on the field. They didn't even need them. Now we can splice this any way we want. The reality is Belgium, coming out of the 1998 World Cup, was disappointed with their performance in their exit. Going into Euro 2000 as a co-host, they knew they needed to revamp their system. And what they did was they looked at the players that they had, the teams they produced, and the results that they achieved or didn't achieve. And it occurred to them that they needed to tear down their federation and rebuild it. Germany had to do a similar thing, other countries have as well. Ultimately, they looked at the players and they realized the players that they had were not equipped for the game and where it was going. And this is going back 20 plus years ago. And again, if you are looking at the result, waking up today saying, where did Belgium come from? You've been asleep for the last 2 decades. I will say that when you look at the player, you have to look at the environment in which they exist in. And when that environment can be analyzed, restructured, Belgium took the opportunity to completely change its philosophy, its coaching education, the way it looked at player development, the way it looked at accessibility from its urban centers to its training pitches to creating football cages in concrete fields so they didn't need to have grounds crews with upkeep, and just making the game accessible across the country. Now you can say, well, look, that's Belgium, it's a small country. We can't do that in the United States. Well, I disagree. We can do it at the state level. We can do it at the urban level. We can do it at the community-based level. I've been saying this for years. I've stopped saying it because you do get tired of saying these things, and I've moved on with my life in a lot of ways. I don't write about the game as much, and this isn't an act of self-promotion. I'm not good at that. But in chapter 12 of my book, called The Belgian Blueprint, I felt validated that the things that I had written about, researched over a decade ago, are still being proven correct. Now, this isn't a look at me, I'm right moment, as much as that would be the easy route to take. This is more of a, when you understand that the problem exists at a macro level, you begin to dive into the micro elements that go into it. A lot of the countries that are doing it right, including ones that already went out, Japan included, they have a long game in mind. They put processes in place years ago. They have this philosophy, they're going to plant the seeds for somebody else to harvest. In this country, we are too used to doing the microwave results. Throw it in there, have instant change, and that should be what we want. Everyone else has this crock pot mentality. Throw all the ingredients in, adjust the temperature, stir it up, let it simmer, let it set, add if you need to. It's like calibration exercises. If it doesn't work for us right away, we just change everything, or we try to change everything. Now, a lot does need to change. But this Belgium team, from a player, was better than us. From a tactical approach, better than us. From a physical standpoint, light years ahead of us. From a composure and psychological standpoint, light years ahead of us. How does that happen? Well, it happens when you create an environment in which players aren't feeling the same constraints that we put on our players. They're better in 1v1 situations. They're technically better. They're tactically smarter. They have more hours accumulated playing the game in structured and unstructured environments, in the street, in formal training, in academies. A player from Belgium, a top player, can play at any league in the world. We've seen it. So how can a country that small look at its neighbors, see what they're doing, take a bit of that, and put it in its own system, reinvent itself? And look, will they win the World Cup? I don't know. In fact, that's actually irrelevant. What I will say is our country has no shortage of resources. We have no shortage of infrastructure. We have no shortage of money to throw at the problem. We're getting it wrong at the fundamental level. Our players aren't composed enough. They're not smart enough. They're not tough enough. And this sounds very old school. We just don't have the inputs we need to create teams that are competitive against the top footballing nations in tournament play. We can beat them in one-off games. We may actually do well against our regional opponents. We don't have the pressure cooker type mentality required to win when it matters most. And we can talk about all the politics and all the other things that go into this. All I'm saying is I'm kind of reading my own work and seeing that even all these years on, we're still asking the same questions. We actually leave this tournament with more questions than we have answers. And looking at Belgium, rereading things that I wrote, it's like, yeah, it's not a crystal ball. There's no fortune teller here. It's just facts. Anyway, more to come on that, but in life, you either be validated or invalidated, and so will your work. And when it stands the test of time and it goes through the rigor, sometimes, even if your team loses, there's a silver lining. So that's all I got for now. See ya.